It was great.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. We got the lovely Dion in the building. We got Kitty Kit. We got Boombox Tiara, Just Justified, and we got Uma B again in the building. Welcome back to the show, Uma B. Welcome
Thank
back.
you.
It is more than a pleasure having you over here with us. You did so dope the last time. I got to give you a round of applause on that
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me back. I'm excited.
one. Nah, it's all good. It's all love. It's all love. So today is going to be a great topic. I said today. What is wrong with me? Today we are going to talk about divorce. When is it time to give up? When is it that time to say, I'm gonna throw in the towel, and there might be something else out there for me, or is it ever even worth it? That's the topic today. Bless you, whoever is sneezing. Look, I am gonna play. I'm gonna play. Tiara. What's her name? Tia Mowry. We all know her situation, what she got going on with her divorce, and then I would love for the ladies to touch this topic with me. So here we go.
When I really started to focus on my happiness. I feel like women, we tend to focus on everybody else's happiness, making sure that everybody else is okay. But at the end of the day, it's about self-love. And when you start to really work on yourself, love yourself, know your value, know your worth, and then all of a sudden there's this awakening. Wow. And it's not easy. It's a hard journey. But at the end of the day, I feel like it is so worth it.
All right. I know y'all heard that foolishness. So
Self-love is foolish?
yeah.
Wow.
Yes, yeah, that's
Loving
foolishness.
oneself is foolishness.
Yeah, foolishness. But we gonna get into it. We gonna get into it. My man Matt said, Jess, don't put this serious face. What's going on? So serious, Jess. What up? Man, first of all, we got I see. We got Mona D in the building. What is good? It is a pleasure seeing you over here. You work with some of the heavy hitters that I've been watching for years, and it is a pleasure having you on this side. What is going on, Mona D? I'd like to also thank everyone that's watching us on multiple streaming platforms. Continue to watch on those platforms, but I would say come over on this side also and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. And as you come in the door, hit the like button. Mona D says, hello, GMT and the ladies. What is good?
Hi, Mona D.
Hey, girl.
What is good? All right. So let's get into this topic. We got MRT in the building. MRT, what is good?
What it do? What's good, Matt?
So I don't know if you
toxic one on this panel. I think it's Kitten and me. I'm playing. I'm playing.
I mean, nobody can top Cardi B, the historian. Nobody can top that one.
You know what?
She is a historical enthusiast. That's what she is. Maybe we should have said that.
Tell her how that means so we can do an interview and talk about it one day. We're gonna talk about how she's a historian. Okay?
No. You and I are gonna talk about that. Not you and Cardi B. So, anyways, let's move on to the topic, ladies. What is good? What's your thought process on divorce, and when is it time to throw in the towel?
Well,
anyone can start this.
Shorty said, I just want to talk about self-love, how important it is to be on a journey of self-love. I want to know why you ain't love yourself before you got married. That's my question. I'ma just
boom.
Did she not love herself before she got married?
I don't know, because she said she's on a journey of self-love as if she was not already in love with herself before. Like, you ain't love yourself, you ain't know your worth. I don't know if it was because Corey was not making her feel worthy. Because, I mean, that, that could happen in a marriage where, now you may feel a little different about yourself or whatever the case may be. But I just want to understand, did she not love herself or had an issue with self-worth before she got married? And now she's like discovering that now that she is unmarried.
I think it's code language. I don't think she really stopped loving herself and it's a self-love journey. I think it's her way of saying, I really want out. I really want out of this marriage. It's not you, it's me. I got to go on this journey. I really don't. I just want you gone. I want the bed to myself. Please be gone. That's what I think. And I am an advocate for divorce because the problem right now that we have in our nation is that there's too many people getting into these committed relationships without doing the proper vetting. So we're not really with our right person. We're not equally yoked.
So why be an advocate of divorce rather than an advocate of proper vetting?
Well, yeah, I'm an advocate
foundation altogether.
I'm an advocate for proper vetting, but if in a situation where a marriage is not working, there's people that are just pro-marriage, and I'm not for that. I'm for everybody's mental health, and everybody knows what it's like to be in a toxic relationship or a relationship that's not working and your mental health is disturbed. So that's what I meant by saying I'm an advocate for divorce.
Well, sorry, Jess, you were about to say something in response.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm just looking a little ahead though. You got
taking a step back from the clip and what Tiff said or Dion said. I think some people get into relationships looking for that missing piece of themselves. And there's these expectations people have in relationships, serious relationships and marriages, thinking, okay, this person is going to complete me. Or once I get married, once I attain this type of relationship, this is how I'm going to feel. I'm going to feel better about myself. I'm going to obtain, I guess, the highest level of society. Because you know how some women, when they are connected to a relationship, they feel like they're whole. They have a person. I'm not going to just say they have their person. And a lot of women can get caught up in the hype of relationship. But what you need to understand before getting into relationships, you kind of need to know who you are as a person. It's not just it's not you just vetting the person you're dating, but it's you also taking inventory of yourself. That's why I'm an advocate of you having some alone time before you hop into something serious. Like I know people go from relationship to relationship without even having that downtime to be like, hey, why did I mess that relationship up? Or why am I not in relationships with people where it's a harmonious union or equally yoked union, right? So there's a couple proponents there. I think given that Tia, she met Corey when he was walking and she was
at the bus stop.
She picked up homeboy from the bus stop, right? And she was on the
lollipop.
and she was on the show The Game. So her career was, flourishing. Meanwhile, Corey's was just beginning. He was very broke. I know marriages, there's some seasons that we all go through. So I think what she didn't do is properly vet herself. Me personally, she vetted herself and took inventory of her relationship with Corey and why did you choose him and why were you in this relationship? And now that you guys are evolving, are you guys making new agreements as the relationship evolves? Because marriage is a continuous evaluation, continuous push forward, and go to therapy before, during, and after. I'm just gonna say that out loud. Counseling is your friend during marriage, before marriage, all up and through that marriage. And even in counseling, it's not going to always bring you guys together, but you might have some realizations there as well. So, long story short, vet yourself first, so then you can vet that other person.
Let me ask a question now, and I feel like we can all say this. Have you all never been in, whether it was a friendship, situationship, or whatever, where you actually learn more about yourself by being with that person? Like it wound up teaching you things about you that you didn't even know or realize that you should have gotten together, didn't realize there were things that you needed to get together. Because some people walk around here and think that they're together. Like they walking around and they like, no, I'm together. And the right counselor person situation will humble them and make them realize, you know what, maybe I'm not quite as together as I thought I was. Maybe I didn't look at myself in this particular way. So saying that, I feel like maybe that relationship made her realize the things that she didn't realize prior to getting into it. And like she said, and people, have a hard thing about being selfish about yourself, right? And we need to do that more, hopefully before you sign, contract agreements for long term. But there's nothing wrong with being selfish with yourself as far as making sure that you're thinking about you and your mental health, because how you show up is how you're going to show out. Also making sure that you have other parts of your life together, that you're not bringing, a level of baggage that isn't unpackable. You ultimately want to go into a relationship with luggage, if you will, versus baggage. So, definitely that's my particular take on it. So I think this particular relationship, she might have learned who she was and didn't realize that these things were happening until the relationship kind of brought it out.
So what I'm hearing, what it sounds like is a lot of beforehand, right? Which is good. Like, find who you are before you get married. I don't think anyone should get married without knowing that marriage is something that they truly want, and it's something that should be for a lifetime, because you make that commitment. And especially in our community, we like to preach about, we're all Christians, we all believe in God. Mm-hmm. Yet every chance we get, we keep breaking those commandments. Right. So, okay, if that's how it's going to be, then don't get married. If the mindset is that I'm not really a true believer, don't get married. But sickness and health, richer for poor, till death do you part, those are real words that you make. But a lot of people, like quote unquote her, who graduated from her marriage, she's teaching younger women how to be. It's okay to be in a relationship and get out of it. Uma, like when you said you were an advocate for divorce, I would say, listen, I agree. If that's how you do it with your people's, fine. Me personally, I believe in teaching people, you made the decision, do everything in your power to work it out.
So I want to add to that, because I believe my parents are still married. So I look to get married one day and stay married. But the problem is that we don't really think about the whole relationship. We're looking at a relationship from our viewpoint where we're at right now, right? Now, imagine if you're going to be with somebody for 40, 50 years, every 7 years they say you change. Or if you want to keep it to decades, every decade you change, right? People got to start thinking about that fact. The person I love today, she's going to be the same person, but every 10 years, she's going to change and become something different. Am I willing to change with that person? I believe marriage can work, but I believe marriage can only work if we're all realistic of that fact, that who I fell in love with 13 years ago is not going to be the same person 13 years later. So,
but wouldn't that fall in the same category as what she said she graduated from her marriage? We all change, right? But I do believe we have to change together.
Correct.
To grow together, right? And absolutely. Sometimes the person that you're with might not see your growth. So it is up to you to show that person consistently listen, I want you to be where I'm at. The mindset of, okay, we're going to be all in the same place that we are 15, 20 years from now, is not realistic. Everything is going to change about us for the most part.
And I think that's really what happened. I think that she was evolving. You say changing, but more, evolving in a space where she didn't realize who she was anymore. Sometimes, especially as women, a lot of times when we're in a relationship, we're accommodating everyone, the husband, the children, and all of that. We accommodate so much that we start losing ourselves, and we don't know ourselves anymore. We don't know our likes, dislikes, and stuff like that. In a lot of cases, I've seen that where you lose yourself. So I feel like she evolved in a space to where she wasn't aware of herself anymore, and she needed to give herself that time. Not necessarily, like, oh, well, I gotta leave the relationship, but that's just what she chose to do because maybe that was the best option. I think, Corey and her, they both were in a good space when they met, financially on both ends. But, things just take place that change the scope and the dynamic of your relationship. And also, you don't know what other trauma had taken place. Somebody could have, lost a loved one. Things like that can affect, the relationship as well. So sometimes you just have to give people that space. Whether you're with them, you can be with them, supporting them mentally. It doesn't always have to be a physical type of support.
So I feel like also though one of the major flaws is leaning on happiness, pretty much. Like when we use that as a foundation, then there are going to be times in a marriage when you're happy and times in a marriage when you're not happy. So you cannot lead with that as a foundation of a marriage for the most part, because then you got to figure out, ways of coping with when for the times that are not happy. So if that's right. And that's one of the reasons she gave us. So if that's one of the reasons one of the main reasons you gave us, that's not, to me, that's not a sufficient reason, especially with children in this marriage. One who's like, 4 or 5 years old or something like that. I feel like that's where, as much as you want to do self-love, you can do self-love in an island over there with the amount of money you have and figure some stuff out, take whatever time you need, hire a nanny, do something, and then come right back and get it together, because for the foundation of your child as well, figure it out.
I think the explanation, the verbiage, self-love, I think it was just like a vague but broad,
like a blanket statement.
Yeah, because really she doesn't really owe us an explanation, because we're just people, just like she is.
But we are people who are going to judge by what we were given. That's what we were given.
Yeah, I mean, we all are welcome to judge, but marriage is a safe, sacred place that you're welcome to judge the relationship, but it's not your relationship. You're not in it, so you can't really judge it without looking at yourself and just being like, well, it's really not none of my business. It's not really my place to state whatever the case, whether he's broke, she's unhappy with children. Like, we're just basically just trying to judge what she said. And I don't even think that that's fair to her, because it is her marriage and it is her relationship.
Now we got to judge what she said. The reason why is because she said it publicly, right?
Well, yeah, she
said that publicly, but she did not give us an indication.
So
broke down the marriage. Like, what were the steps taken before you got to divorce? Like, for example,
you said so then do that then.
Happy because she's divorced, and is she unhappy? I don't know.
Yeah, she's not happy.
Why is she not happy?
You
What
know why?
indication have we gotten that she's not
Because
happy?
she's on TikTok every day talking about her relationship status and what she wishes she could find a man that has the values of the man that she left.
I think she's using that as an outlet. Like, what I've noticed is when people get into these new phases, because I've definitely seen a lot of YouTubers do this as well. There's been YouTubers that I've followed for years, from their dating to their engagement to their marriage to the demise of their marriage to divorce. And they all continue with sharing the journey and how it's going and the ups and the downs and et cetera. So I just feel like she's just using this as an outlet. But still going back to what we were talking about before, where was her self-evaluation during the marriage? Because I feel like that's something that we do need to also look at. When you're in a marriage, you're still supposed to be self-evaluating, doing some under stock on what's going on with you. Like,
but everybody evolves differently, and everybody evolves at a different pace.
Right,
So,
but was she using the tools? Was she seeking out individual therapy as well as marital therapy?
That's what I'm saying. We don't.
So she chose commitment.
We're all making assumptions.
She chose commitment. Her involvement needs to be involved in that commitment.
But
that's what she chose.
But we still, like, we really don't know. Like, what if he were already threatened divorce, and then she just said, "Okay, I want a divorce," and then she just went wearing the blame.
She needs to tell that to the public, because what she gave to the. Well, here's the thing: she gave something. She gave an explanation, and for how important the choice of marriage is, you cannot just leave it as that and it be okay as a blanket. Like, then don't give a statement at all. There are people who don't give statements when they get divorced.
Yeah, she didn't.
My thing is, don't give a statement at all.
What I'm saying is her statement was vague, and it said, "Okay, well, self-love." So
that's the whole point.
At some point, let's just say it's very vague, but she's also saying, like, she lost herself somewhere. Right. For you to use the term self-love, you lost yourself, and you need to tend to you. Right.
Let me read this super chat really quick. We got a super chat from Queen Lala, $4.99. She says supporting the ladies tonight. Chat. Queen Lala in the building. Yo, listen, Lala. Wait, hold on. I gotta get. Queen Lala, we gotta get you on this panel. So, all right, ladies, go ahead, continue with the conversation.
I wanted to chime in on what y'all were saying as far as like how she lost herself, right? Or that could be the reason for why she divorced. Obviously, I've never been married, but I will say I have an idea of what that feels like to quote unquote lose yourself. If you don't have your own mental stability in line, you can't even operate for yourself. So like your mindset and your willpower is everything that you have to protect. And when you don't protect that and you become weak, you begin to feel lost. So I think, in that situation, I think you have to have a very supportive partner when you get to that point, to kind of be able to bring you back in and regain that mental stability that you're looking for. Obviously, we don't know what else happened deeply in their relationship. I only know her from, the TV show they had, so I don't really know much about her life or her marriage. But but I think it's important, like, when you get to that point as a couple, you have to have a very strong relationship when it comes to communication. But that is important to avoid that point at all costs. It's no fun not really remembering who you are or having a sense of like you lost yourself. That's all I had to say about that. But I did want to comment on what GMT said a little while ago. I was trying to write it down, is that you were saying that she's teaching the youth that divorce is okay, or she's displaying that. I would disagree with that, because I feel like the culture is doing that. The music and the entertainment world, the things that we idolize is promoting
everything that is opposite of marriage and commitment. You can't really look at anybody's I guess like idol that they have in their head that has a positive example of marriage and old school values that we be looking for. So I think just us as a culture, we've already moved way past that. Way past that. Marriage is not anything that's valuable anymore to most people.
I like to respond to your disagreement. Do you believe that there could be additives to a problem?
Additives, additional things on the outside. It could be, yeah, it could be a lot of stuff. It could be a lot going on with her.
So if she is part of a problem, then she's the problem as well, right?
Yeah, essentially.
I'm gonna chime in,
but I don't. It's not like she's like. I feel like she's just a part of the puzzle. You know what I mean? I feel like
but it's still a part of it though. So the way you eliminate that is not being a part of that problem. 1 second, Uma, what was you gonna say?
All right, so I was just running the statistics real quick. Tia is 46 right now. She was married for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
That means she got married at 31. Before she was married, they dated for 6 years. They got engaged in 2006. They got married in 2008. So they dated for 8 years, right? If you do the math of all of that, they had their first child in 2011, the second child 2018, the separation in 2022, the divorce 2023. If you look at all of that, this is not a woman that blindly rushed into a relationship. Also, this is a mark of a woman that grew with this man. She clearly met him in her 20s and left him in her 40s, right? I think the bigger picture, y'all don't hate me too much for this. I think the bigger picture is marriage a stable institution that really can last the test of time? Because this is not like some young girl who jumped in with a guy 3 years later, she's sick of him, she left, right? We're looking at somebody who's been realistically with a person for over 20 years.
Can I chime in right there? Cause
go right ahead.
Okay. So you make up a great point, right? Because can marriage stand the test of time? Back in the day, marriage wasn't done for love,
right?
From what I've heard, it was
necessity.
That's correct.
Was two families coming together to build their wealth. The original institution of marriage. Most recently, and I say recently in the last, let's say 100, 200 years, I don't know. We have this new notion that when you want to marry somebody, there is love and feelings involved, not discounting those arranged marriages, et cetera, et cetera. Why? Question. I think I have a question, and I don't know, comment, I don't know. If the original intent of marriage was to strengthen families, and when we say strengthen families, we mean wealthy families, because I think in those times where arranged marriage happened, poor men weren't getting married.
Right.
Were they getting picked?
No, poor men were getting married.
They were getting married.
They were getting married to women on their level.
Yeah, it just depends on each family status.
Yeah.
So they were getting married. They were all getting married. Combined resources. It wasn't primarily.
Tiara, I'm sorry.
That was mostly like
kings
other
and queens,
races,
right?
Yeah.
But we're talking about the average peasant. They were married. They were married.
They were getting married to combine their resources. Is what I
No, they had no resources. They got
married to poor people were marrying poor people.
They got married to family. They got married to have children.
Now some average people did get married because they were doing like the older man and the younger wife type of thing back then. I don't really know exactly how to explain that, but older men were marrying younger women, I guess, because they wanted children and things of that nature. But
so there was some type of
and
there
how
was some type of
It's always about legacy with that.
It's about legacy. You
So
wouldn't
you
be
watch
here if they didn't do
you
that.
watch House of the Dragon, they need their name. It's a
That's
legacy.
what I'm saying. This is where I'm going because I'm thinking of House of the Dragon where
Oh my God, we are not talking about House
really?
of the Dragon.
No, how did we get
it was
here?
brother and sister. Like how you
No.
loving your sister and you loving your brother and your uncle. But anyway, I said all that
I feel
to
like
say
y'all need to
this.
just get into it.
I think we have
Good stuff.
evolved in what we think the institution of marriage is, right? So in today's society, now I'm talking in today's society, we marry for a multitude of reasons. I'm going to speak for myself. I married my husband because I love him and we are partners. We are friends. We are partners. We went into this marriage because we are also
a capital
partners,
P
right?
on that partner word.
Huh?
You put a
that's one of Mingo's,
because we are partners. We
you
have
know that's my buzzword.
We have equal
Why do you say it's
investment
not a
into this
partnership?
relationship. I'm coming with stuff. You're coming with stuff. I'm gonna put in work. You're gonna put in work. We know that work is gonna look different every day because everybody doesn't have 100% every day. We are partners. He's my husband. I'm his wife.
They are partners in their marriage. GMT in their marriage. They are partners.
What's the problem with saying partners?
And we also understand when we did get married. When we did get married, I'm sorry. When we did get married,
this is why y'all divorce rate is so high because y'all
we're partners.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wait, I'm gonna interject.
Why shouldn't they say partners? What's wrong with that? Because I don't.
What is wrong with being partners?
What does that mean?
I'm not going to touch that, and then I'll touch the partner thing right after.
Okay. I'm not touching the partner thing because I know exactly why that's his buzzword.
Oh, is he thinking about the other thing?
But
is that why? I don't know.
I know.
I want to hear it, so I'm just going to wait.
I understand as far as like when he's talking about why partners or partnership is an issue because it's hierarchy as far as within a marriage or relationship. But I also personally feel like all relationships and marriages need to be doctrine in the way that works for them. But I feel like, okay, so Uma, I feel like you're like my like mystical like sister, like Shiro kind of like girl.
Not mystical.
Like we are here on like cosmic levels and stuff because I'm about to say something that's probably gonna get me fired from the podcast. I'm telling y'all I love y'all now.
Who say it?
I just want to let y'all know
who say
it. Okay. But
whose phone is that keep going on?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can hear that.
Ding. Yeah,
I've been hearing them dings. I'm like looking around.
I keep checking my phone. Like,
is that your weed man or something? Like, what's going on?
A group chat. Like, I was like, I wonder if they can hear that. It's like ding because it comes up on my laptop.
We can hear it.
I was looking around crazy, but I'm gonna say this, and I'm saying it with love. And for all of my people who love their marriages, please continue to love them. And there's nothing wrong with them or anything. But monogamy is a man-made construct that's not necessarily natural to people. It's a job and it's a work. And because of that, this is why you have so many issues with people being able to sustain monogamy in the way that is constructed through the marriage lens, if you will, which is why so many, current relationships or marriages now, when they look at polyamory, they're like, oh my God, I deal with one person, let it go and this, that, and the third. But love is essentially not the same amongst each other and different people. The way you love Dion is going to be different than the way that you love your son is going to be different than the way that you love your mom. It doesn't mean that you don't love them all equally. You just love them differently, so that's my little tidbit with it. I think when you look at marriages and people and evolving, and it really plays a part in how, people fare out in their relationships. Relationships are not cookie cutter. And I think that's the problem. Everybody's trying to have this American built marriage with the 2.5 kids and the fence and the, you know, the wife that's super submissive and the man that's got his briefcase on the way to work. That's not what works for everybody. But as long as the relationship works for the people in it, that should be what's important. The relationship didn't work for Tia in the relationship that she was in. And like Uma said, she had years and years and years with this man. It wasn't a fly-by-night thing. They were together for almost a decade before they even hit the aisle. So clearly, you know, again, not even saying that she was trying to cheat or anything, but as she evolved, she realized that wasn't for her. And unfortunately, because of how American society looks and feels about marriage, it's this farce when you think of divorce in any other way. But I'll end.
No, I have something to add to that.
Go ahead, Uma.
So I understand what she's saying, because like I like to look at things from a factual point of view, right? And not get my emotions involved. And that's why I always look to my computer and I pull little stats up and stuff like that. Actually, it is quite rare in the animal kingdom to have a monogamous relationship. Now, birds, there's about 80 to 90% of the bird population that is monogamous. But in the mammal population, you know, because we're mammals, only 3 to 5% of the approximately 4,000 mammal species on Earth practice monogamy. So what I'm trying to say is, and what I was trying to say earlier when I said I'm an advocate for divorce, is just this: not everybody is meant for marriage. And there are people that are meant for marriage. So when we find, right, the couples that do not match, and they gave it a go and they had these beautiful children and they tried to make it work and it doesn't work, I don't think we should be faulting them if it is just not in their makeup to make that happen. You know, I always wish everybody who's married the best blessings, and I hope that people make it to the end, but we're not all built for that. So that's my
look. Tracy Ellis Ross is happy with no problems.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, right?
She got the best wardrobe.
What it comes across as. Hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. What it comes across as is what's being said is try and fail. It's almost like there's some magical partner that's meant for everyone out there. Y'all, our community, I truly believe, we're the ones that's very much like there's a lid for every pot. Everyone has this person that's out there that's gonna find them somewhere and marry them, and it's not true. Statistically now, if we're gonna bring up statistics, we can look at that. The fact that the older these women are getting after these divorces, they are not happy. They are on antidepressants more. This is a statistical fact. There's women that leave their marriages and go out there and try their hardest to find another man that was giving them what the other man was giving them. Why are you leaving? Because the world is telling you, oh, give up. No, it's not successful if it didn't last for a lifetime. Could marriage stand the test of time? Yeah, if you learn and someone teaches you how to do it. Mm-hmm. If you talk to the elders, the people that did it before you. But when you talk to people that's like, oh, yo, you get a divorce, it's fine. You'll find somebody else, hopefully, if that's what you want. Or maybe you don't want to be married. Maybe you want to be the cat lady. Fine, be a cat lady.
But you know what I don't like that.
Tracy Ellis Ross ain't thought about a man and ain't nobody stepped on her neck. If, as a matter of fact, everybody.
You're talking about one person.
You don't think she's the man though? So, I'm not saying.
I have one man too.
I haven't met a depressed divorcee yet.
I'm just asking.
If I'm speaking about sphere of stuff I see around.
I mean, I've seen.
That's anecdotal though.
I wouldn't necessarily say depressed, but
I mean societal.
Most people that I know that have been married want to be married again. They don't want to be single.
No one wants to be single for the most part.
Right.
All of us want somebody. So if you believe in God and God a lot. Yeah, but whatever with her.
She don't want nobody
Like,
getting
and
her
like
house.
it has
Her
to be
egots
both
keep her
parties.
warm, honey. Her egots keep her warm.
If God aligns you with that person, and then all of a sudden now you think that there's something better. We're not talking about under the guidelines of cheating. We're not talking about under the guidelines of, something that could truly break
Like
a
AB.
marriage, right? Yeah, A, B, or anything like that. We're talking about you just not being happy. This is why I always say the 3 words that a man should always be on his guards for the moment his wife says she's not happy, because women invest too much into happiness. You also invest too much into love.
But like, see, but Mingo, the
hey.
thing with that though is that women are 100% emotional creatures. It may sound, which it can sound anecdotal or ignorant or irresponsible to leave a marriage due to happiness, but women actually experience more negative emotion than positive. And when you have something like that, our emotions get amplified and ignited so intensely to a certain point to where you will crash out at some point. And I think it's not just like, it can't just be a bottom line of, oh, I'm not happy because you're whatever. Because like I said, in the few relationships I have been in, there's a lot of times where women will bring these things to you over periods of time and time, wanting it to be rectified. But because I think we after a while, I think we override women's emotions, because it's just like, oh, you're being a woman and you're being emotional. But a lot of times she's trying to bring you something before she's at her wit's end. And I think it's just something that needs to be horned. You're right. They should be on their guard if their wife says they're not happy, but they should be horning in deeply. They should be tuned in.
No, I'm not gonna, because I'm not in this to make you happy.
Wait, see, hold on. But you see how you literally didn't even let me finish that point, right? It's almost like y'all men have a natural reaction to just, no, I'm not, whatever. It's about listening. It's about emotional reciprocation. It may be something as simple as reassurance for her. And you have to, sometimes it may be annoying, but sometimes if that's your partner, it's not just doing stuff to make her happy. You need to listen to her, and you have to see it from a woman's perspective of why your wife, after 10, 5, 15 years, is feeling some type of way, because it can be corrected. But because men love to override certain stuff like that, by the time she's done is the time now that you're ready to address it. There's people that I know that have been married men, and they've been married for years, and they don't know why their wife has left. You go talk to the wife, she'll run down from point A to point Z on why she left. And I can even say, just throwing this out there, my parents were married for 36 years. My mama got married when she was 18, had kids by 21. She's 63 now, and she's been remarried. And I've seen some stuff within that 36 years of marriage, and it takes two. It takes two to want to be there. You have to do stuff that you may feel like is irrelevant to her happiness. But if you want that woman to be by your side and to perform at what she's supposed to be doing, those things have to be addressed. You have to do something different. Something has to be switched up to accommodate. That's what I think. That's what I.
I just want to say. Wait a minute. I just want to say, I'm not happy.
All right. For me to pack my bag. For me to pack my bag.
I mean, no. Anyway, and I agree with I kid. But really and truly, I feel, speaking from a place of experience, have I said that to myself? Yes. Have I felt that before? Yes. I'm not happy. However, I feel like that I've gotten to a place, and I'm gonna call it, of self-awareness and self-evaluation and therapy and all the things, because I believe in all the things. That was something, my happiness and how I feel every day is not contingent on GMT at all. So for me to wake up one day and say, ooh, I'm not happy, I'm going to leave my husband, that's not a him thing. that would never be a him thing. That would be a me thing. And being that I'm at this point in my mental health journey or in emotional growth, I could never see myself saying that, because I feel like if I'm coming to him and I have an issue with, hey, I don't like when XYZ happens, I feel like now I have the language and the tools to be able to say that to him effectively. And being that we've gotten to this place of understanding, he would be able to receive that. Relationships work if you work. And that's not every relationship. You cannot have a healthy friendship. You cannot have a healthy marriage if you're not putting in the work. So people want to sit down and be like, oh, well, I need to figure out myself. And yes, you do. Because like we all touched on, you're going to change. The person that I was when I met him is the person that I am today. And neither is he. So we had to make the adjustments. When I started changing, when after the first year of marriage to the 5th year to now we have a whole baby, all of those things changed. I changed, he changed, and we had to roll with it. And then another 10 years, or whatever, 13 years when we're gonna be empty nesters, we're gonna be different then. So it's like I just feel like
But
to me,
but
I mean, the best way I can say it, it's kind of corny.
Leon, though, one of the key things you said is that you bring it to him and you've learned how to do it effectively and he receives it.
Right.
That's literally the point.
But that's the work, though. That's the work that comes into it, though.
And
right.
It's not all the time either. Uma, what were you going to say?
I have a question for Dion. So I love that. And I feel that's what's needed to make a marriage last is you guys grow together, you learn together. Now, I want to play devil's advocate and ask you, Dion, what if GMT was not receptive? What if anytime there's an issue, he doesn't want to work with you? What if when you're evolving, he doesn't want to evolve? What if like you want to move in a direction that's healthier and good for your family, your relationship, and he doesn't want to support you? Then what if he starts like downplaying you and talking negatively to you? What then?
Prayer. Jesus. Okay. That, I mean, and I'm being honest, that's what I have turned to, where and I'm sure there has been times, I'm 1,000% sure that there's been times where he has been in a space of growth where he's like, I'm trying to get here and I'm growing here and she's being stagnant.
She hasn't grown with me.
Right. Like, what's going on? And we
have those.
heads.
Hold on one second, hon. We've had those seasons, right? We've had those moments where we had to bump heads. And those seasons could last for months. It lasts for months. I'm looking at her like, I'm here, you're not here. What's going on?
I would like to
I would feel that way. And she's fighting me against it. And then same thing, vice versa. She's here and she's trying to get me there and it's not happening, but that's marriage.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that a lot of people should understand you're not going to always like your spouse.
No.
You're not going to always, because they definitely can be in a different space, while you're in another space or whatever, and again, it goes back to what I was saying. Everybody evolves at their own pace. So it's just going to, you got to give that time.
We got a 199 super chat.
Oh,
says, big shout out. Hold on.
We don't have to read that one. We don't have to read that one.
This is super chat.
Y'all ain't got to read the chat.
Super chat. I got to read the chat. Blockchain Baby says, with a 199 super chat, says, big shout out to GMT. I see just internet still ain't it. So,
Spectrum. It's Spectrum.
Good looking, my guy. Good looking. Every time.
That's
Spectrum.
Damn.
That's the same else. We got Spectrum.
Signed up for Verizon.
Spectrum is good to us, okay? Spectrum is
a lot of people don't have
here.
patience, though. A lot of people don't have the patience for a relationship.
Right. And in this comment right here, right? It says that's a fact. It says that's why I say love is a choice and a feeling, right? So, and here's the thing with that as well, right? You invest too much in love. I love my wife to death, but sometimes I don't love her. Sometimes that feeling of love is not there. It's just a feeling, right? What happens then? Do I always just, okay, let's sign the papers? But then all of a sudden, 2 minutes later, I look at her again. I'm like, oh man, I love this girl. Yeah. My baby.
I think so.
I don't know why you said right. Like who's agreeing with you? Nobody.
I had this conversation with my husband before we got married about like versus love. So I say I rather like my husband than love him, because like is going to get us through when I am communicating an unmet need through conflict, right? We have that dynamic where I struggle, and I'm being very honest. I really did struggle communicating unmet needs in a way that he can receive them. Right. So I had to evolve in the way that I communicate unmet needs, because my communication style was, you ain't doing what I want you to do, and I'm gonna give you the count to 10 to get it right. If you don't get it by 10,
that's the count to 10.
You know what I'm saying? That used to be a way that I communicated with people. And I've seen that in other marriages. Mind you, my parents are married. My grandparents have been married for 60 years. I grew up in a family where women are married, but they're feisty in the way that they communicate unmet needs. And that doesn't work for the man that I decided to marry and be with, right? So I had to change that communication style. Hence, this is why we say everybody's marriage is their personal way and how they want to build with each other. And because of this establishment of like between us, so we have likenesses, as in we find things in common. We have safe words. We have little sayings to like put our guards down so that we can communicate effectively between each other, even when we're beefing with each other. And we have been through newborn. We just had a baby. So this newborn stage where you're keeping score on different stuff and beefing because you not the same, he not the same. We trying to figure out, we ain't got no sleep. It's a whole bunch of stuff happening around us, right? So we had to come to grips with what are ways for us to put our defenses down so that we can effectively communicate our unmet needs. Now that work came from counseling. It comes from individual counseling. It comes from us doing marriage counseling. I'm a big proponent of that. If you really want to get to the heart of your communication style, having that mediator or that counselor there to listen to how you talk to each other helps you kind of like hash out whatever your issues are. It helps us communicate effectively. And I realized that I take the same, I want to say, proponents to friendships as well. I know we're not talking about friendships, but friendships are definitely work as well. If you want to water those relationships, you have to find a way to effectively communicate an unmet need. And you also have to understand how the party receives that in conflict, because that can either be do or die. And a lot of people are taught to flee. They're never taught to stick and stay. And I've been
that's my problem, Tiara. A lot of what you see happening today is, and I say this, and I'm saying this, and I'm going to give it to agenda, right? I'm not going to put this on men, because the divorce rates show that men are not the ones overtly filing for divorce. So I'm going to put this on women. Women invest more into their friendships than they do their relationships. Why is that? That is true.
That's not true, because even in friendship, I'm going to say this, even in friendship, they're not even communicating unmet needs, and they're not even communicating beefs.
Friends be ghosting each other all the time. Like, let's not act like that won't be a thing. People did not be answering their phone.
But y'all would rather work it out. Y'all would rather figure it out before y'all end up getting a divorce with y'all husband.
I mean,
but y'all see, oh, that's gonna be my girlfriends forever. I'm not saying any woman on this panel, right? Because there's married women on this panel. So y'all obviously understands the dynamics of making it work. I'm looking at the statistics, right? I'm looking at on average, The average woman is just jumping out of her relationship as fast as she jumps out of her bed every morning. And then praying to God that some other man is going to come catch her. That's the problem.
Lord have mercy.
But like, I mean, how do we know if there's anything that was deeper going on in the divorce though? Or like in the relationship for why they just up?
Don't matter. It don't matter. We're not talking about cheating, right? Average.
But what if that was the thing?
If something as far as cheating goes and it's something you can't look past, because I don't even feel like I understand it on the men's side. I'm not gonna lie, but that's a different topic. It's a different topic. I understand why men we don't accept it. No, we ain't segueing it. But when a man cheats, I understand some women can see past it, and if they could see past it, fine, right?
Wait, repeat that.
And let's say that I said if a woman can see past cheating, fine, and it works out fine. And then, but if the man cheats again, and they let him go. If the man is not supporting you in the places that matter, right? He's leaving you dry. Even the Bible has things where if your husband abandons you, that's a call for divorce. An abandonment could look like so many different ways. Mm-hmm. He could just be leaving you out dry. Yeah, but you're not happy is not a reason for divorce. That means you invested too much in your happiness. You literally took that part of being happy in a marriage literal. What you was
something that Tiara said, I thought that was interesting. Saying that for her, liking her husband is more important than loving him. Do the super chat first.
We got a $2 super chat. My man Matt says GMT women are gifted curse, brah, which is the truth.
I just want to I have to leave, guys. I'm booked for another show, but I want to thank you guys so much for the opportunity of having me here. And I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Buenos noches.
We'll holla.
My shiro.
My shiro. So I thought that was interesting because for me, I look